expectations. A lot of people didn't feel I could go to Division I school and do so well. Everyone was telling me, my principal told me to go to the Air Force Academy so that once I finished school, I got a job after school. And I didn't listen to him, as you can see. And
when you talk about Michael Jordan, you're talking about the ultimate basketball machine, a global icon whose legacy transcends sports. With 6 championships, 5 MVPs, 10 scoring titles, and a competitive drive so fierce it bordered on obsession, Jordan wasn't just great. He redefined greatness. But even the GOAT needed worthy opponents and teammates to push him and elevate his legend to untouchable heights. Let's dive into 6 legends who Michael Jordan admired most during his storied career. David Thompson, the childhood hero. Before Michael Jordan was the global icon known by millions, he was a kid in North Carolina with hoop dreams and one idol above all others, David Thompson. Known as Skywalker for his jaw-dropping leaping ability, Thompson was every young basketball fan's dream player, including MJ. Back in the 70s, Thompson was the ultimate example of airborne artistry. For young Jordan, it felt like watching something unreal. Thompson's ability to dominate games despite his comparably smaller stature, he stood at 6'4", showed MJ that greatness wasn't about size. It was about confidence and sheer determination. To MJ, Thompson was a blueprint for greatness. After years of idolizing Thompson, Jordan would later honor his hero in the most iconic possible way by asking him to present him at his Hall of Fame induction.
Why did you pick David Thompson? I know why. We all, as Vivian said, we go through our trials and tribulations.
This pivotal moment was about giving credit to the man who indirectly shaped his journey to becoming the GOAT. I wanted everyone to know how much David meant to me, Jordan admitted in his speech. But Thompson's legacy and reputation as an electrifying scorer, especially during his time with the Denver Nuggets and NC State, planted seeds in young Jordan's mind that blossomed into his competitive fire. Thompson was the first guy I truly wanted to emulate, Jordan said in an interview years later. His influence made me who I am. Without Skywalker's example, who knows if MJ's imagination would have reached heights it did. It wasn't just Thompson's ability to float through the air. It was his drive and his sheer joy on the basketball court that gave MJ the vision for his own greatness. Magic Johnson, the blueprint for greatness. Before MJ rose to the throne as the basketball's undisputed king, there was Magic, the man who owned the 1980s. Magic's no-look passes, unmatched court vision, and electrifying charisma made him the face of the NBA, captivating fans and dominating rivals like no other. MJ saw Magic as the gold standard, the player everyone wanted to model their game after. Magic was the guy I looked up to when I entered the NBA, Jordan admitted in an interview. He did things you couldn't even explain. It just didn't make sense how he saw the floor or made plays. Their paths finally crossed on the grandest stage, the 1991 NBA Finals. The seasoned Showtime Lakers faced the hungry Chicago Bulls, who were desperate to cement their legacy. The showdown was symbolic, more than just a game. It was the passing of the torch. Magic was the king of the NBA's past decade, while MJ was ready to own the next one. The series wasn't easy, but MJ rose to the occasion, leading the Bulls to their first ever championship. Jordan later confessed that beating Magic was the ultimate validation. Taking the torch from him meant everything to us as a team, MJ revealed. That final series proved we were ready for greatness. It's easy to talk about championships, MVP awards, or unforgettable passes, but Magic's legacy wasn't just about numbers. It was about influence. When MJ and Magic faced off that fateful final series in '91, history was made. But Magic will forever remain the player Michael Jordan aspired to match, even after becoming the GOAT. Oh, by the way, if you're enjoying this video so far, hit that subscribe button. Thanks. Anyways, Charles Barkley, the fierce rival. When you talk about competitors who truly tested MJ, Charles Barkley's name stands out as one of the fiercest. Known as the round mound of rebound, Barkley was a force of nature on the court. He played every game like it was a war, refusing to back down from anyone, even the legendary MJ himself. Their matchups were epic clashes of talent and sheer willpower, where Barkley's grit and MJ's brilliance collided night after night. Off the court, their friendship was just as unique, filled with playful banter that cemented their legacy not only as rivals, but as larger-than-life personalities. Charles was always tough to play against, Jordan once shared. He was fearless. He had the size, strength, and skill to make you absolutely miserable. Barkley's defining moment as a rival came during the 1992-93 season, when he reached the peak of his career. That season, Barkley was named League MVP, carrying the Phoenix Suns into the NBA Finals to face Jordan's Chicago Bulls. Barkley left everything on the court in that series, pushing the Bulls to the limit with his scoring and clutch plays. But despite his heroic efforts, MJ once again proved why he was untouchable. In Game 6 of the Finals, Jordan delivered one of his most electrifying performances, securing his third championship and denying Barkley his chance at a ring. Though Barkley never won a championship, his battles with Jordan left a lasting mark on the game, and on MJ himself. Their rivalry symbolizes the heights of NBA competition, where greatness is forged through battles with worthy opponents. James Worthy, the college mentor. Michael Jordan's journey to becoming the GOAT began in college at North Carolina, where he played alongside the legendary big game James Worthy. He had the poise of a veteran, dominating college basketball with his smooth game while Jordan was still figuring out who he could be. But instead of overshadowing the young MJ, Worthy became a mentor, guiding him to understand what it meant to succeed at the highest level. James taught me so much in college, MJ admitted in multiple interviews. He showed me how to prepare, how to compete, and how to carry myself as a player. The pivotal moment, too, during the NCAA championship game. With stakes at their peak, North Carolina needed a hero. And ironically, it wasn't Worthy who sealed the game. It was an ice-cold mid-range jumper from Jordan, a shot so fluid and clutch, told his greatness to the world. Before that night, MJ was just a freshman. As the years rolled forward, the connection between Worthy and MJ evolved. They'd go on to face each other in the NBA, two stars battling it out on opposite sides of the court, while Jordan was starting to build his own empire with the Chicago Bulls. Their duels were intense, a meeting of minds and talents forged from their days in North Carolina. But for MJ, those battles weren't just about competition. They were reminders of what Worthy had instilled in him all those years ago. James gave me confidence, Jordan shared in a later interview. Their bond remains one of the most underrated yet impactful relationships in basketball history, a story of mentorship and the passing of the torch on the way to legend.
When did you know that Michael Jordan was better than you?
Well, I was, in his documentary, I say that, I was better than Michael Jordan for about 3 weeks. It took about 3 weeks for him to, because he always thought out the best.
Larry Bird, the ultimate chess match. When you talk about Bird, you're talking about a player who could dominate not just with his skills, but with his very presence on the court. He wasn't just confident, he was intimidating. And for MJ, Bird was the blueprint of what basketball brilliance looked like. Larry was one of the smartest players I ever faced, Jordan once said during a post-game interview. You couldn't outthink him. It wasn't just about his shooting or his passing. It was the way he understood the game, how he always seemed one step ahead of everyone else. Then came the legendary moment in the 1986 playoffs. MJ exploded for an unforgettable 63 points against Bird's Celtics in Game 2. It was the highest scoring playoff game in NBA history, earning him praise even from his opponent. That night, Bird famously said, "I think that was God disguised as Michael Jordan." But here's the kicker. Even with Jordan's breathtaking performance, the Celtics still won. That's how good Bird and his squad were. Though their time as opponents grew sparse, once Jordan's Bulls entered the peak in the 90s, the respect between them never faded. MJ always credited Bird with pushing him to think differently about the game. Without Larry Bird challenging me early on, I don't think I'd have grown into the player I became, MJ admitted. He forced me to dig deeper, to focus more, and to become smarter, not just stronger or faster. Larry was incredible in every way. Bird didn't just challenge MJ's game, he shaped Jordan's approach to basketball greatness. The GOAT didn't get there alone, and Bird will forever be a cornerstone in the story of how Michael Jordan became legendary. Scottie Pippen, the ultimate wingman. When you talk about MJ's incredible NBA career, one name always stands right next to him, Scottie Pippen. He was the perfect piece that made Jordan's greatness shine even brighter. Together, they formed a duo that became unstoppable, winning 6 championships and dominating the 1990s. But let's make one thing clear. Scottie wasn't just Jordan's sidekick. He wasn't Robin to Jordan's Batman. He was so much more than that. When people talk about Michael Jordan, they should also talk about Scottie Pippen, MJ famously said during his Hall of Fame speech. He made me better every single night we played. Scottie's versatility was off the charts. He couldn't only dunk or score. He could do everything. Need someone to guard the best player on the other team? Pippen was your guy. As Jordan himself said, he wasn't just my teammate, he was my rock. Pippen brought the kind of defensive grit and offensive creativity that turned the Bulls into a championship powerhouse. While Jordan could drop 40 points on any given night, Scottie ensured the team stayed balanced and locked in across the board. And here's the kicker. Pippen wasn't afraid to let MJ do his thing. Instead of competing with MJ for dominance, Pippen understood his role perfectly. He elevated Jordan while dominating in his own unique way. This team-first mindset was what made the Bulls a dynasty. Critics used to hype Scottie as MJ's Robin, but if you ask Jordan, Scottie was more like his partner in crime. Without Scottie, I can't win 6 rings, said Jordan. Under coach Phil Jackson's triangle offense, Pippen thrived by creating opportunities for MJ to shine while stretching defenses thin with his versatility. Jordan may have stolen headlines, but Pippen was the glue holding everything together. As MJ once said, Scottie was the perfect teammate. He had no ego, no jealousy. He just wanted to win. Their partnership became the stuff of legend. 6 championships, 2 three-peats, and the foundation of arguably the greatest team in basketball history. MJ's greatness was built not just on his talent, but on the battles, friendships, and lessons he encountered along the way. These 6 legends weren't just names on a scoreboard. They were catalysts for his evolution as a player and person. In every opponent or teammate, MJ found inspiration and motivation to reach even greater heights. His legacy as the GOAT isn't just about dominating the game, it's about how he elevated everyone around him while becoming the ultimate basketball icon. And in that, Jordan's story remains timeless, a blueprint for greatness that will inspire generations to come. All right, that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.